Alright everyone, it is Finn here and welcome to a brand new video where today we're going to be talking about the impact that Kiladou Koulibaly can have on Chelsea Football Club, because ladies and gentlemen, it is official. The Senegalese captain, nicknamed The Wall by Napoli fans, has just signed a £40 million deal plus add-ons for Chelsea Football Club, and it is gigantic transfer news, and I'm saying this, it could put them back in the title race for the Premier League. I mean, signing the likes of Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly in one transfer window, these could be the signings that put Chelsea back on the map for the Premier League title race. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the impact of Koulibaly and the impact that he could have on Chelsea. Of course, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of African football. I feel like I've said it in all my recent videos, especially after making my most recent transfer video talking about the likes of Joe Ariba, the Nigerian star moving from Rangers to Southampton. But once again, when I saw that one of the best centre-backs in the entire world, Koulibaly, was moving from Napoli to Chelsea, I knew I had to make a video about it. I mean, look at him. He's set to sign a 4 to 5 year deal that'll take him to the age of like 36 years old. He's set to earn around £10 million a year. Once again, absolutely mental, and we're going to be talking about the impact that I think he will have on the club. Look, first of all, I do want to say that I believe Koulibaly, one of the best centre-backs in the world. I mean, before Virgil van Dijk came around, the talk was between the likes of Sergio Ramos and Koulibaly to be the best centre-backs in the world. Currently 31 years old, and Koulibaly has left himself a real legacy. I mean, just talking about who exactly is Koulibaly. Well, of course, 8 years ago, he made a move from Genk in the Belgian Pro League after winning the title to Napoli, where he has spent the last 8 years of his career. 317 appearances for them in 2014, helped them win the Supercoppa Italiana, and of course, in the 2019-2020 season, helped them win the Coppa Italia. As we know, captained the club for quite some time and an absolute legend in football at the moment. Obviously, as we know, just captained Senegal to the African Cup of Nations win after being runners-up in the 2019 Afcon competition. Koulibaly, once again, a true leader at the back, and I believe will make a serious difference to this club. Once again, also losing the likes of Andres Christensen and Antonio Rudiger, Chelsea are in desperate needs of a centre-back replacement. And once again, you don't nickname a centre-back The Wall unless they're one of the best centre-backs around, unless it's for ironic reasons like how Manchester United named Harry Maguire captain. But of course, once again, as we know, Koulibaly is a world-class centre-back. Now, of course, the big question is, how exactly will he fit in to this Chelsea squad? Well, first of all, I think we have to look at the style of play. I think when looking at Koulibaly, although 31 years old and although a very big, very physical striker who will be able to cope with the physicality of the Premier League, he has also got a lot of speed on him, and because of that, I believe they'll help a lot in terms of other centre-backs around him or other defenders being able to make their way further up the pitch, as he's able to defend at the back and he's fast enough to get back. Of course, very agile. I mean, considering the size of this man and being nicknamed The Wall, he's got a lot of agility and a lot of speed. Now, of course, looking at Chelsea, the kind of style of football that they've played, especially under Thomas Tuchel, they've been very comfortable in that 3-4-3 formation. And in terms of Koulibaly, I think he needs to be that centre point of that centre-back 3 kind of trio at the back. Once again, in terms of centre-back options at Chelsea, after losing Christensen and Rudiger, there are a tiny bit of a pickle. But of course, there are talks about the likes of Nathan Ake moving from Manchester City, and of course the likes of Kimpembe moving from PSG. I believe if Chelsea can even get 2 of these centre-backs, they should be sorted in defence. I mean, don't forget they've got the likes of 36-year-old Thiago Silva, world-class centre-back. So of course, once again, I do feel like the likes of Koulibaly is kind of that direct replacement for Rudiger. He is the kind of centre-back that can make his way up the pitch, and also once again, very, very solid defensively. I've heard people talk about the fact that maybe Koulibaly, once again, in terms of his discipline and his aggression, could be a problem, but once again, world-class centre-back like him, you just can't forget him. Obviously, maybe he's not used to a 3-4-3 formation. Looking at his time over the last 8 years for Napoli, he's kind of been more used to that left centre-back position, but of course, once again, moving him centrally shouldn't be a problem, because when it comes for the Senegalese national team, he's used to more that right centre-back position, although can play in either centre-back positions. Once again, it just shows his versatility. I mean, even over the years for Napoli, he has played in both full-back positions because of his pace, along with that defensive midfield position, where he's even played in the midfield with the likes of Jorginho. So once again, Chelsea just seems like the perfect move for Koulibaly. Once again, as I said, I do feel like he is the direct replacement for Rudiger. Over the last 2 years, Antonio Rudiger has made such an impact at Chelsea, and many people, including myself for a period of time, considered him for a short period of time the best centre-back in the world. He was that good. And once again, as I said, If you get the likes of Koulibaly in a 3-4-3 formation, I believe that if you have other centre-backs around him, like say Thiago Silva and maybe even Nathan Ake, they will allow those centre-backs to move slightly higher up the pitch, as Koulibaly is defensively solid and has the ability to get back with pace. It also allows kind of the midfield wingers, if you want to call that, the wing backs such as Chilwell and Reece James, now that Chilwell seems to be back from injury, it does allow them to go higher up the pitch as well. Once again, knowing that they've got a bit more of a solid centre-back behind them. Once again, whether they'll change their style of play, I'm not too sure that is what they're going to end up doing, because as I said, Koulibaly plays a very similar style of football to Antonio Rudiger, but once again, it puts a lot more safety and a lot more rest when it comes to going up the pitch, especially looking at their midfielders. Maybe they don't have to play as defensively, knowing that they've got a very solid centre-back behind them. Maybe the likes of N'Golo Kante, once again, maybe he can play higher, maybe they don't have to play so defensively. Once again, as I said, maybe they could even flip formations around. Maybe they could play more of a 4-3-3 formation, knowing that they've got such a solid centre-back behind them. Once again, 31 years old. I do feel like Koulibaly should have came to the Premier League slightly earlier. 31 years old, as we know in football is played to be way older. I mean, looking at the likes of Pepe, for example, he's almost 40 years old. So maybe Koulibaly could even play for Chelsea till the age of 40. Maybe he's got another 10 years ahead of him. But obviously been linked to the Premier League for a very, very long time, mainly to Manchester United over those years. But of course, Chelsea grabbing a centre-back like him should be perfect. Of course, we should be hearing in the next few hours, or maybe even by the time this video comes out, we will have heard the fact that Koulibaly is in Los Angeles in America getting ready for that American Chelsea pre-tour club. Even 62 appearances for the Senegalese national team, although could have played for the French national team as he was born in France, but had 2 Senegalese parents. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put down in the comment section down below, how much of an impact do you think Koulibaly will have on Chelsea? As we know, the Premier League gets more competitive and more competitive. I mean, looking at the signings Manchester City made, I mean, yes, they've got rid of some of big names, but of course signing the likes of Erling Haaland, obviously looking at the likes of Liverpool, signing Darwin Núñez. Of course, they sold the likes of Sadio Mane though, so it is going to be a tricky battle. Arsenal bringing in the likes of Gabriel Jesus, Spurs getting Richarlison, Manchester United not really getting anyone quite yet, sadly. But of course, the Premier League is so competitive, and these are the signings that Chelsea desperately needed to make. Guys, I hope that you did end up enjoying this video. If you did, please do make sure to subscribe down below. We are on the road to 6,000 subscribers, as well, make sure to hit that like button. If we could get this video to 20 likes, I would really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Koulibaly, what a signing. I wish he came to Manchester United, but I guess it just wasn't so. Guys, until next time, this has been Finn, FYNN. Cheers.